Hello, welcome to class today. In this class, we're doing a mobility session for pregnancy. So I have a couple of props here, but optional, some of them. I have a little kettlebell. It's an 8 kilo kettlebell. If you do have weight that you can use, a dumbbell or something, and you want to make some of these a bit more challenging, then feel free to grab that, but absolutely not necessary. All these movements are great with just body weight. I also have my dowel. But you can also just use a yoga strap or a scarf or something like that. This is just going to be for some shoulder mobility. All right, we'll jump straight into things today. As usual, we'll start with some diaphragmatic breathing and just bringing some awareness into the body and especially the core and the pelvic floor area. So let's take a standing version today. Just grounding down through the floor, little bend through the knees, doing your own little postural alignment adjustments. And then beginning to breathe down into the belly, the ribs, the back. Like I always harp on about, we're looking for this beautiful opening and softening. Inhale. Exhale. So no engagement or contraction of pelvic floor. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. Soften, relax, breathe. Now let's focus right down into the pelvis, breathing down, down, down. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. And relaxing down. Let's begin today just by waking up the spine with some spinal waves. So just standing as you are, let's take a head leading spinal wave. So beginning with the head, feeling that wave move down along the spine. And even not during pregnancy, most of us will have areas of the spine that feel a little bit fused or sort of blocked together. And especially when you start this type of movement, you might feel that there's kind of just two parts to the spine, the upper and the lower, the T-spine and the lumbar spine. So we're trying to get more movement and sensation through bigger area of the spine. So into each vertebra, there are areas of the spine that are fused, and some that don't have as much mobility naturally, but we're really seeing if we can delve into the spine a little bit more. So for me at the moment, and if you're further along in your pregnancy as well, so I'm 38 weeks now, you might find that the lumbar spine definitely feels a bit blocky because it's holding all this weight at the front. So for me, that area really doesn't want to move much. So really trying to focus on getting a bit more movement in that area, and can be helpful to touch. So I've got my hand on my back, can also be helpful to touch at the front, just to give you that feedback of what's actually happening in those areas. If it's the upper spine for you that feels more clunky and stiff, then you might tap or touch up the top. Nice. Let's move to tail leading waves. So now sending the hips forward first, and then the upper part of the spine, so up around the head, will be last. Nice. So hips, and we work all the way up. Just being mindful with these in late pregnancy. If you really jut forward with the hips, you might get some doming of the abdomen. So I'm just being mindful of that, just watching You can time your exhale as the hips come forward with a gentle core engagement to prevent that from happening. And also just maybe don't bring the hips and belly as far forward as you might normally if you're noticing any of that. A little bit more. Nice. And coming back to neutral. Shake everything out a little bit. Let's just warm up with one more shoulder movement. So going to bring the palms of the hands face upwards and take a big circle. I'm gonna hit my monstera as usual. Thinking about taking this leaf off, but I don't know. Come back, keep a little tuck through the tail so we're not arching too much through the spine. Keep the palms face up as you come past the ears. Reach forward, bring the hands round by the side, and then back to our big circle past the ears. Keep the palms up, bring the shoulders forward, and little circles underneath. Let's do two more. Big circle past the ears. Really fight to keep the palms face up. Reach forward, shoulders are internally rotated. Little circle there. Last one. Reach past the ears. Forward. And little circle. Now we'll reverse. So palms face up, come back, little circle. Hands up, big circle, keep that tuck through the pelvis. Reach forward, little circle, keep those palms face up, hands come to the front. Reach up and over. Let's just take one more circle and big circle and back. Let's give the hips a little shake out. And now we're going to move into our circuit. So the first movement in our circuit today is a split squat. So this one, you're going to come into a lunge position. I'm gonna move my kettlebell for the minute. Into a lunge position. And here the aim is to bring the knee over the toes. The back leg won't just bend down like a normal lunge. We come forward over the toes as much as you can and then press all the way back up. If you do have pubic symphysis pain, I would keep the stance a little bit shorter and just not come as low and play around with that distance and don't do anything that's exacerbating that pain or discomfort. All right, otherwise we're gonna do 5 on this side. Coming down as much as you can. Keep this front heel down if you can, but if it needs to come up a little bit, that's fine. Hips square to the front and press back up. We're inhaling on the way down. Exhale up. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. Switching it over. Setting up with your stance that you need right now. Hips square to the front. We want to avoid this happening. So up on the back toe, the back ball of the foot, and we've got 5 here. Coming down. 1. Try not to lose your balance. You can use your dowel here for some balance if you need, or the wall. But I like a bit of a balance challenge too. 2, 3, 4, 5. Lovely. Coming down to the floor now. So coming down through our lunge or squat variation. And coming into, so keeping one foot forward, we're taking a hamstring stretch here. So again, you can have something for stability, the stick or the wall if you need it. Otherwise, just stabilizing yourself as you need to with your stance. Again, hips square to the front. Flex this front foot back towards you, nice and long through the spine. And we're going to hinge forward, just until you feel that stretch through the hamstring. So for me at the moment, it's not very far at all. And for you, it might be even less, or it might be much further. That's fine. That's 3, 4. Notice I'm not rounding to get my head down, maintaining nice long spine. On the 5th one, we're holding here for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming up, switching it over to the other side, setting yourself up, straight front leg, toes face back towards you, nice long spine, and we're hinging till we feel that stretch in the front hamstring. 2, 3, keep the breath going nice and steady. 4 and 5. Oh, we didn't hold. Coming back down. Holding. Keep pressing that front heel into the floor and back up. Nice. So coming back up to stand, bring your stick or your strap with you. And we've got shoulder dislocates here. Well, it's a weird name for these ones. Don't want to dislocate our shoulders, but kind of is what it looks like. So taking your hands nice and wide to begin with on your strap or your stick, little bend through the knees and tuck the tail under. Really important that we maintain that throughout this one. Then arms come up overhead and take them behind you as far as you can. It might only be just overhead like this, or maybe you find you can take them all the way back. You might need to take the hands a bit wider to achieve that. All the way up overhead and behind, as far as you can. Keeping the arms straight. 3. Keep breathing. Nice and steady. 4. And 5. Coming back to the front. Okay, you have one last movement for the shoulders. So we're going to start with the right arm. Here, I want you to bring the arm as much as you can behind the back. It might just be behind the head. Again, with our shoulder mobility, being really careful that we're not just thrusting into the low back in order to get the hand above the head. Okay, so keeping that tuck as much as you can, reaching down the back. Then we're going to open out through the shoulder, keep the scap down, shoulder away from the ear. Keeping that position with the elbow, taking the arm forward, rotate that internal rotation of the shoulder. And then we take the hand behind the back as much as you can. So try and reach it up between the shoulder blades. If you're down here, no worries, you're just coming as far as you can. And then we'll reverse that. So back to here, like one of those little waving cat statue things. Then externally rotate and take the arm behind. Nice. Open. Hand goes back. Take it behind the back and reverse. There. Nice. One more time. Open. Keep the elbow where it is. Take the palm face back and hand behind the back. Last reverse and back. Nice. Give it a shake out other side. So 3 each side. Starting in this position, taking the hand as much as you can behind the head or down the back between the shoulder blades. Open it out. Keep the elbow there. Rotate the hand back. When we do this, just watch that the shoulder doesn't scooch up towards the ear too much. And behind and reverse. Nice, that's one. Retuck the tail. Open. Behind the back. Open the arm out. And hand behind the back again. Last one. Open. Keep the shoulder blade where it is. Internally rotate the shoulder. The elbow, I mean, where it is. And hand behind the back. And open. Beautiful. Give shoulders a shake and a roll. That's one round. We're going back to the beginning. So this is where I'm going to use my kettlebell for the split squat. Do not have to use any weight. Split squats are plenty hard enough as they are. But if you want a bit more of a challenge, then grab your weight. Okay, so being mindful that with the weight can be a bit more of a balance challenge as well. Setting up, remember if you need to have a shorter or wider stance, adjust that now. And let's go. Coming down as low as you can and back up. We've got 5 reps here. Inhale down, exhale up. 2, 3, knee comes over the toe. 4, last one. 5, switch it over. Make sure you're stable first before you begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Popping that one down. We're coming down to the floor through our lunge and setting up for our hamstring folds. Okay. Remember to use the wall if you need to, or something for stability. Hips face forward, nice long spine, and we hinge. 1, 2, breath nice and steady, no breath holding. 3, 4, keep those toes flexed back, and 5, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Switch it over. Setting up. Toes pulling back towards you, hips square, and hinge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And up. Okay, grabbing your prop for your shoulder mobility. Standing position as wide as you need. Tuck the pelvis under. Strap or stick overhead. And as far back as you can for 1. 2, keep the arms straight. 3, keep the breath going steady. 4, and 5. Pop that down. And now we have these, I don't even know what they're called. We'll call them shoulder explorations, something like that. Okay, starting in this position, tuck the tail, elbow face up, and then we open the arm out, drop the shoulder away from the ear, keep the elbow where it is, take the hand back, take the arm behind you, and reverse. That's 1. Open out, internally rotate, hand behind the back, and reverse. 2, last one. Drop that shoulder down. And coming back the way you came. 3. Switch it over. Hand behind the back, elbow up, tuck the tail. Open. Internally rotate, hand comes behind. And reverse. 1. 2, last one. Open out, drop that shoulder down, keep it there as you internally rotate, hand behind the back, and reverse. 3. Beautiful. We're on our last set. Hooray. All right, just moving my props out the way. We've got our split squats. I'm going to use my kettlebell. You do not have to use any weight. Setting up into your lunge position, and we've got 5 here. Inhale down. 1. 2. Exhaling up. 3. 4. 5. Switch it over. In that lunge position, get nice and stable before you start. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put that one down. Coming down. One leg in front, setting yourself up for our hamstring hinges. Hips square, long through the spine. And 1, 2, 3, 4, last one we're going to hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Switch it straight over. We're nearly there. Long through the spine, square hips. Keep repeating the cues, but they are the things to pay attention to. And forward. 1, 2, 3. Try not to hold the breath. 4. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Grabbing your prop, coming back up to standing. Tuck the tail, arms overhead, and we're coming back. On this third round, you might find you can bring the hands a little closer together. Perhaps the shoulders have started to open up a little bit. 2, 3, 4, last one, and 5. Beautiful. Okay, our last movement in our circuit. Hand behind the back. Again, retuck the tail. As soon as that arm comes overhead, lower back on starch. Okay. Take the shoulder out, palm forward. Palm face back, keep that elbow where it is. Hand behind the back and reverse. Little waving cat. Maybe I'll call it that instead. waving cat mobility, shoulder mobility. What do you think? And behind, reverse. That's 2. Last one on this side. Open out, palm face forward. Internally rotate the shoulder, hand behind the back. And reverse. Nice, that's 3. Switch it over. Come into your starting position, elbow up. Open the arm out. Palm face back. Keep this shoulder down, pesky shoulder. Wants to come up, thinks it's being helpful. Nice. Open. Internally rotate, hand behind. And reverse. Last one. Open it out. Forward. Hand behind as far as you can and reverse. Beautiful. Give it all a little bit of a shake. Roll the shoulders back and forward. Shake the arms up overhead. Let's give the legs a little bit of a shake out. Nice. We're going to come down to the floor and just finish with some pelvic floor release after we've been doing a bit of strength work in there as well. So coming down, moving that one out of the way, and either taking a kneeling or cross-legged position. I prefer kneeling. It's hard to maintain a nice long back in the cross-legged position unless you're sitting up on a bolster or something. All right, so you're either here kneeling, or feel free to take a child's pose if you prefer. That's a really nice way to finish too. And we're going to re-engage the diaphragmatic breath, but just focusing on softening and lengthening down into the pelvic floor. Inhale nice and full. Exhaling, softening and lengthening. Inhale. Exhale, soften and lengthen. Last one. Breathing right down into the pelvic space. And soften and release. Lovely. We'll leave it there today. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed that mobility session, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye.